Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Shrewsbury. Hang on, you've got that one. That's fine. Shrewsbury Magic Championships. You should know that because it's up on your screen at the moment.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Tempest Phillips, or you can just refer to me as John, as it will be for the rest of this evening. And I'm joined by my fellow compatriot,
Ryan Tetram Pickles.
Ryan,
or just Ryan, as I will be referred to.
You're copying my shtick. How dare you copy my shtick? We are joining a wonky game, as it turns out. And I'm going to reduce the audio a little bit because it's a little bit dark. And, I can't see any of the cards! No, wait, I can see all of the cards. It's perfectly fine. So what we have going on here, well, we kind of did a little bit of an intro before, but we're probably going to have to do a little bit of an intro again, is that we're doing the Shrewsbury Magic Championships, which is basically the... is following the same format as the World Magic Championships, but doing it specifically for a group of people that we have in Shrewsbury, because we have a massive gaming group that's going on in Shrewsbury. But here at the moment, as the interface is lying to you, I wish to point out the interface is lying. It is not Dan and it is not Tom. What we actually have seeing is Jason Roberts on the left-hand side of your screen versus Stephen Ramsey on the right-hand side of your screen. At the moment, I am being informed that both of them are on 13 Life. Wow, that's quite odd. Oh no, Jason's on 13 Life. I do apologise. Jason is on 13 Life, and Steve is also on 13 Life. So I was correct the first time round when I said that. Huzzah, huzzah. Now we are playing, unfortunately, in the same way that the Magic Championships, it is basically 3 rounds of Modern Masters Draft, followed by 3 rounds of Standard. Tomorrow it will be 3 rounds of Theros Draft, followed by 3 rounds of Modern. Now you'll notice that these are not Modern Master cards, because we have had beyond major technical difficulties getting to this point, and we are actually in round 1 of the Standard play.
Yeah. It looks like we caught them quite early on as well.
We have caught them quite early on.
Too far in the game.
And we've got
4 by the looks. On the mana that's on the table.
Judging by the mana, yes, I would say that is exactly right. And we have already Stephen Ramsey coming in with, his Voice of Resurgence and a token allocated from the Voice of Resurgence, which is a 3/3 at the moment.
5 damage.
Yeah, straight on 5 damage. So Jason should now be on 7 life, or 8 life, sorry. I can't do math, I apologise. However, Jason does have himself what I believe is a Fleece Mane Lion. But I can't see what he's got strapped onto it, unfortunately. But this is not one of those... you see how... Oh, man. He just...
Simple as that.
Simple as that, yeah. Just stick an Advent of the Worm in the way. So clearly, actually, I mean, we've come into this a little bit too late. I didn't know whether or not he'd monstrosified things, and clearly hadn't. Otherwise, that Fleece Mane would have been permanently there. But he has just dropped down what I believe is a Loxodon Smiter. So it's a little bit of a weird board presence because, Loxodon Smiter, that's a 4/4. That's just going to flat out get in the way of everything that he has there. But having a Voice of Resurgence just sitting there with a token, all he needs to do is... Jason's playing a dangerous game. He can't basically touch...
4 mana played for...
Steve in the slightest.
That's a Planeswalker? That's not... Which one is that? I can't quite see him.
I can't actually see that myself. I believe that's the new guy.
It's the... green, is it the green-black one?
Green red. Well,
you'll have to forgive me here. My knowledge of the new Planeswalkers is not brilliant.
Yeah, I can't actually remember the name of him off the top of my head either, which is wonderful. We're doing a great job so far, aren't we? Oh my god! Why is everything in alphabetical order? That's such a stupid place to put things.
So we have a Planeswalker on the field.
And a Bow of Nylea. Oh god, I foresee this being slightly one-sided at the moment. Steve has got himself Death Touch. All of a sudden that problem that I was saying before, Loxodon Smiter is a 4/4. It gets in the way of everything. Really? No, not anymore.
No.
Not when you've got Death Touch. It's just kind of not an issue anymore. It's not a Domi Raid, is it? He's got there. No, just triple checking, just in case I was being an idiot. There we go. Xenagos, the new chap. There we go. I knew I'd remember his name eventually.
Currently on 4 life, so he +1'd it.
So yeah.
So he's now.
Yeah, let's not do that, shall we?
John fixes the screen. As
So
you now
at the
see, it's
moment,
up on the side of your screen.
he has got 4 counters on it at the moment, and he has got a lot of things to protect him. But I believe that's an unflinching courage, which has just been strapped onto the smiter, and he's completely tapped out, so he has to take it. He has. Yeah, there you go. Nice and simple. He knows where the problems are. This is why I love Planeswalkers, because even though 90% of the time the ultimates never go off, it's because the ultimates are there. You have to deal with them. You just flat out have to deal with them straight away.
Things happen. And the great thing is, Jason's one of these players that will know when to strike and what to strike with to do the damage that's needed.
Yeah. I mean, in this case, he just had one option, which is he has one guy, he has to get rid of it, he's going in there. But he now, if that is an unflinching courage, he does have trample and +2/+2. So that's a 6/6 with trample and lifelink. So I need to check up on the life scores.
Just
because
looking right now, it appears to me that Jason seems to be lacking mana ever so slightly.
yeah.
I see 3 mana on the field. Steve's obviously got 4. And I'm trying to get a glimpse of Jason's hand, but he keeps moving, and it doesn't look like he's got any mana in hand either, so he could fall behind on the mana.
I mean,
which
luckily,
could cost him here. He's
well,
going up against 3 creatures. He needs to get something else on the field soon to stop taking this damage.
I mean, I'm not overly too certain whether or not... Oh, here we go. Steve steps in again. And... yeah, I have no idea what that card is. But, oh, jeez. Ah, right. Now Jason's just flat out in trouble.
Yeah,
you know, he's
now
completely defenseless. What are you going to do in this case? You just kind of count your blessings and go away.
I wouldn't top deck the mana.
Yeah, but again, we don't know exactly what's going on in his hand, but neither does Steven. Ah, Voice of Resurgence to snap your Voice of Resurgence. There we go. So, I mean, he's quite happy to now throw that in the way because he will get a token out of it, but it'd be much more beneficial if he could put some more things down on the table first. I think he's got another Voice of Resurgence in hand.
Yeah, I
and
just saw it there.
Looking at it, I'm just trying to see. You've got a much nicer screen than me.
Yeah, I just so people watching know, I'm using the full screen on the one monitor.
Yeah.
One seems to have the XSplit preview, which isn't quite as zoomed in detail.
not quite as large and as pretty as yours is. That makes it sound quite disgusting, if I'm perfectly honest. Yours is bigger than mine. How dare you?
So Voice Resurgence from Jason has gone down. The token's going to come onto the field.
Jason takes 4, goes to 3. I got that. I'm so glad we have the microphones working. So Jason's on 3 life.
Clear.
I mean, he has got himself a token, but it's just a 1/1, nothing special. Looking through his hand, he has got another voice, which would be fantastic. I think he has got a Fleece Main Lion. No, he can drop it, but he's got no way of monstrousing it. I think that's what he's going for anyway.
Yeah, it looks that way. Yeah, this game does seem, at this point,
Fairly
Steven's
one-sided.
to lose.
Now, I mean, you have to bear in mind that Jason has got a fist full of cards, and
Yeah.
Steve is just sitting there with nothing.
He's
I mean, he's got
top-decking, isn't
1
he?
card in hand. He's got all the board presence in the world, but he's got literally no tricks up his sleeve whatsoever. Ironically, Steve's not wearing sleeves, and Jason is wearing sleeves, and he's the one with tricks up his sleeves. But it's a simple case of. Actually, I'm speaking out my arse. I think that's I can't tell. Come here. We just had our head judge wander into the room. Hello, Ross. How you doing? Would you say that is a scavenging ooze blocking his Elvish Mystic? I mean, there is a lot of cards in the graveyard. Jason can potentially, and that's exactly what he's doing. So there is a scavenging ooze. So he's pumping it up. So that Elvish Mystic just flat out goes away. However, Elemental token's gone. He is left barren once again and on 3 life. I do apologise once again for the interface. We will get it sorted. So, yeah. I can't get the interface is down, unfortunately. So, Jason is down to 1 life. He is skin of his teeth. It's not Dan and Tom either. Oh, no. I do apologise.
So this
And
game is
there we go. There we go.
down,
Scooping.
so
Just going
go
straight
to
to game
game
2.
two.
There was no way out of that, really, was
no,
there?
not at all. 1 life when there's more than 3 creatures on the field. You're going to have to do a lot there to take that and survive. So that's 1-0 to Steve. As we go into game 2, he's going to reshuffle here.
Oh, I'm not actually too certain myself. Where are we? A whole 5 people. Hello, all 5 people. Please, by the way, feel free to use the chat room because we will interact with you as time goes on because, you know, there are going to be portions in the middle where they're changing things around that, you know,
And of course,
We're
we'd
going to be
rather
stuck for things to say.
we'd rather interact with you guys than just sit here with background music.
I don't want.
playing
I don't
over
want to
the
talk to you all day long.
Yeah,
I want to talk
I
to
know,
other
I-
people as well.
I do that every day anyway, so I'd rather talk to fresh people. Yeah,
Fresh? Are you trying to imply that I'm not fresh and I'm not down with the kids, as they say?
down with the kids.
I'm so not down with the kids.
No, that
I'm
was
so,
far from it.
Yeah, saying down with the kids basically makes you not down with the kids, as it boils.
No,
as
not at all.
basically it goes
So
down
there's
to.
some
So
sideboarding going on.
yeah, while they're sideboarding, I'm just going to give you. There you go.
Ah,
See,
here
we
we
have a
go,
webcam of
see?
us that goes
We
on. We
fixed it,
completely
well done.
lose the audio from the other one,
Oh yeah.
but that's not a problem.
they
So we
just
actually have.
us.
You just have us.
They get to stare at our mugs all day.
Also, only while they're sideboarding and things like that. This
Yeah,
is our
yeah.
opportunity to basically. And by the way, come
we
on.
should introduce
Come
you to
on,
our
we
head
have our
judge.
head judge here who's making sure that everything's going as smoothly as it isn't.
Yeah,
I'm not looking after the tournament.
He stood next to us rather than watching over this match.
I mean, well, you know, so fair enough. Well, not fair enough in the
But
slightest.
of course, he isn't the only judge.
No,
So
no,
there
we
are
have-
other people judging for him, so he does have the opportunity to come down and speak to us.
So while we're having this little break while they're doing their sideboard, I'm sure I'll be jumping back in any moment now, just to kind of let you know what's going on. It is a 16-person tournament. This is all invitational only, so the only people that have been playing on here have grabbed themselves an invite through one
Yeah.
form or another. Totally Games, which is the game store that's basically helped set up all of this and has put a fantastic prize up front as well. Which we'll go through at a later date, because we've got a whole weekend of stuff to be nattering on about.
He does.
Well, I do. You're not going to be here
I'm
tomorrow,
not here
unfortunately.
tomorrow, unfortunately. I
But
am
we'll have
leaving
plenty of
after
people
you.
to come along and have a natter, and
Yeah,
hey, I may
you'll-
even lump you with some of them later on. I'll be like, I want some food. I want to piss. I want to go have a cigarette.
Leave me to it and watch all hell break loose, essentially.
Pretty much.
I'll just go so off track.
It's all right as long as you're talking
It
vaguely
depends who you
magic.
put in the seat. For instance, if you put like Dan Birch here.
Oh, you two would be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd be great. You'd be talking like basilisks all day
Yeah,
long.
You'll just be back on the whole Dungeons and Dragons side of things.
Exactly. So just we're rejoining them now as they're starting
They're
to
cutting decks.
cutting decks. But just to let you know, this was an invite-only event, so the only way to get
Yes.
an invite was to have won one of the game days that had happened in the previous year. That basically allocated about, and there are some exceptions to the rules as well. We have somebody who is in as the player choice, because they've
Yeah.
barely been playing, but they're already extremely good, and more to the
Yes.
point, a great community member, and just help people and want people to play.
Yeah.
But the majority of people here won because the last month's worth of F&Ms that have happened at Totally Games have said if you top 2, then you get a place in here, and if somebody in the top 2 is already there, then it runs down the list. So each week of F&M, people have basically been getting entries into this tournament.
And unfortunately, I did.
And yeah, and that's why you're stuck with me, isn't
And
it?
that's why I'm sat on this sofa. But
I actually did get in. I actually
I'm
got an
actually,
invite, but I turned it down because obviously I'm doing the streaming and all the rest of
in
it.
all fairness, you were probably one of the only people other than CJ himself who organised the event who could set up this kind of situation to stream on.
Yeah, pretty much.
So-
And you say I can set it up, but look, it still says
Yeah,
Dan and
it
Tom,
was-
and it still says both of their life totals are at 20, which is clearly false.
I am going to take that statement back. John can't set anything.
I
up,
can't
as you've
set
seen, 'cause
anything
We've
out.
already missed 3 rounds.
Okay, apparently your microphone's really quiet.
It's full for me. Oh, I don't know then.
Wonder, please.
Weird.
All right then. I apologise for a moment or two while they're just doing this.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. CJ has wandered into the room, which is the person organising. We're doing all right. Apparently, I've been informed that mine's microphone is quite quiet. It might just be that I'm loud and boisterous.
Maybe. Tactical positioning. I'll try. This mic doesn't give a lot of give on it. So.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's. I'm quite the boomer. Yes.
No.
Yes, that'd be wonderful.
Have some technical
At
work
least
going
putting the
on.
names up at the top.
And
In
yeah,
fact, while they're reshuffling,
we're still
because
shuffling
they're
away.
still shuffling, are both of them mulligan down at this point? Wow.
Oh, this could be interesting then.
I mean, well, part of the reason that I think Steve did so well last time was because he got out the gates really, really early, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
think Jason was looking to stabilise and just never did.
Yeah.
So
And obviously we
mulliganing
missed the
down
we
is
missed the
hard.
really early stages of that game, so
did.
we're not entirely sure what happened in the first stages.
I think we
as to
missed
why.
like turn 2, 3 possibly, but I mean,
But turn 2 and 3, that's all you need to get the upper hand in certain cases. It depends what deck you're running.
True. I mean, if you're going to be playing control v control
Yeah.
matchup, then you might as well just turn up at turn 18. But when you playing rush v rush, turn 4, holy crap, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Not that I don't think either of these two are necessarily playing rush as such. I think they're just both playing mid-range, solid green white. Wow. Ramsey's mulliganing all the way down to 4. That's
Yeah, I
ridiculous.
thought that's what I heard. I wasn't too sure there.
So there we go. We're having the wonderful technician that is CJ is making things happen in front of our very eyes. So you can actually see that is Jason running green-white aggro, and Steve running his Naya deck. So actually, I didn't see any. Oh no, of course that's where the red came in from.
Yeah, so in the first game, apparently Jason was a bit stuck on 3 mana.
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
We kind of got that one, and we saw that. Well, the problem with Unflinching Courage on, I don't know how much of the people saw, but apparently in the last game the problem was we were calling the cards correctly, luckily enough, but he was just flat out stuck on 3 land. And when you've got Unflinching Courage, it doesn't matter how big your creature is, when they have a bow and they have Death Touch, doesn't matter.
Problems.
Does not matter in the slightest. It's going to die,
So
or
the
you're going
first
to take the
turn,
damage. So.
no one drops.
No one drops for either of them, both dropping their shocklands, not taking any damage, as it seems. Oh,
Another shockland.
saying that again.
Hang on.
No, that would be a.
Yep, there we go.
He is taking 2. Steve's taking 2, going down to 18 for his shockland and dropping himself. Oh, and here's the wonderful problem about the lighting in this establishment.
Yeah.
Oh, it's his mana accelerating guy, the Sylvian.
That's
what's it
the
called?
scavenging ooze going down there.
Is that scavenging ooze
It
again?
looks
No, I
very
believe
much the
that's
same.
the Fleece Mane Lion
I'm
because of the colour border.
very dark.
It's very dark.
Very dark cards.
Very dark. The problem is if we turn the lighting up, then we get lots of glare. Lots and lots of pretty
Yeah.
glare. However, I think Steve has retaliated with his Scavenging Ooze, but Fleeceman Line's still a 3-3. He's not really willing to throw either of those two things in the way.
So Steve comes in with the swing. Jason retaliates. Drops the worm.
He's dropping the worm.
Flashes in the worm token.
Oh, now you see that's quite dangerous right there. I can't do that now. Sorry, I'm just playing with things at the moment.
Yeah.
I am part of this conversation. I can assure you.
It's good. I think Steve has played his own worm token. Or is he's tempting to?
Or he's attempting to. He's holding it out. And I think the whole point is he is trying to block the Fleece Mane Lion, which, because he doesn't have the ability, he doesn't have the 5 to monstrosity now. So I think that Fleece Mane is... Okay, Jason's going down... sorry, Steve is going down to 10 already. And dropping a Loxton. See, this is a complete and utter reversal to what we saw moments ago.
Yeah.
I mean, Jason, you can see now he's got 4 mana. Everything opens up. He's got so many more options available to him, so things...
Steve gains 1. There was a yay in the distance there.
Yeah, that would be a yay from my other half, from Sarah. So
I like how you-
I've got the screwed up feed.
I
I'm
was gonna
sorry. I'm
say,
sorry.
That would actually. I wonder if that would work because you zoomed in on Jason's hand there.
Yes.
I wonder if you could place that over the actual.
Oh,
card.
let's see if we can do that. Here we go. Hand cam. Let's see if this works. It's not going to work in the slightest, ladies and gentlemen.
We could always try. Jason's
And
got
voice
a
of research. I
lot
mean,
of
this
board
is just
presence.
this is a hell of a board presence we've got right here.
Swinging in.
And he's willing to sacrifice his mana acceleration to basically take. Okay, so his Scavenging Ooze has now gone up to a 4-4, which is potentially going to interfere with the Smiter, but he's willing to lose his mana acceleration at this point. But still, Jason's got a Fleece Mane Lion. He's 1 mana off being able to pump that thing into actually, being monstrous. And as you can see, when this thing becomes monstrous, it becomes hexproof and indestructible. It only becomes a
Which
4-4, but having a 4-4 that is never going
Yeah.
away no matter what, that's a perfect brick wall for blocking. It's a fantastic offense because you don't really want to trade with it because you're not going to trade
Yeah.
with it. You just have to kind of sit and take it. but
it quickly becomes a problem.
yeah. I mean, looking at the ball presence he has there, the Voice of Resurgence, if Steve does anything to that, then that is, the token that comes off of that is going to be literally monstrous. I mean, what have we got at the moment? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
I see
creatures
what
on
you
the
did there.
table. Yeah, I know. I see what I did there. Yeah, what with this being Theros and all.
But I do think Steve definitely needs to pull something out of the bag here. But
And that's
once again,
exactly what he's done. He's killed that Fleecemane Lion
He may have
before
killed
he
it.
had the chance to actually get it bigger.
But once again, he's down to top decking.
Yes.
And
This
top
is some-
decking in a situation like this isn't something ideal.
No.
You always want to have, especially when there's such a ball present, you want to have something up your sleeve that can swing the game your way.
Even if you don't have something up your sleeve, I mean, just holding land in your hand, when you don't need it, you know,
Yeah.
your opponent thinks, right, well, he might have this, I have to play around
Yeah,
these
I
cards.
do it all the time.
You know.
I play mind games. Just
Exactly.
I hold a mana in my hand because I tend to play black. So I've got a lot of, obviously, Doomblades, things like that. I just sit with the spare mana in my hand, and it just stops them from swinging.
Yeah.
Because they're scared of what could come out of it.
I mean, a good player will play around cards that aren't even in their deck. I mean,
Yeah.
Jason, ironically, Jason's just done what I would consider a really bad move by throwing down his Experiment 1, which at the moment is just going to be a 1-1, and until he draws something else, it's going to remain a 1-1,
Yeah.
and that is it. Personally, I would have kept a hold of that in my hand just to give
Yeah.
Steve something to be thinking about. But both of them are, everything is on the table right now, and it's quite obvious who's in the
Yeah.
power seat.
We're no longer hidden from the cards that they could have in the hand because everything right now is on the table.
Yeah.
So we've got a full view.
Now Jason is going in with a what
Looks to be
crazy swing.
everything, yeah. Apart from
Well, I'm not too sure why he's swinging with the Experiment 1. I mean, does he just want it to die? Because it will just die. He can just,
a judge has been called in. I'm not entirely sure why.
All right, let's see if we can listen in on what they're saying.
Before you calculate the ability, state makes actually check the
I believe that was something to do with the Scavenging Ooze and Stab.
Yeah, didn't
I'm
really
not
make
entirely
it
sure
that
what
much
it was.
clearer, unfortunately. But hey,
Yeah.
so back to the, and that's exactly what I was saying. I mean, why? I'm still not too sure why he
No.
decided to attack with the Experiment 1. I mean, with you having a Voice of Resurgence there, surely you want as many creatures on the board. Which I can understand why he dropped the second one.
Yeah.
I do apologise about the live totals. Once again, they are massively out of sync. Just getting a heads up right now. There's 12 minutes left of the round, and they are on game 2. So we're right back round to where we started the game. I mean, Steve quite blatantly doesn't want to be swinging anything. However, he has just dropped himself a Reckoner,
Yeah.
and that's going to that's going to change the way that this game plays out, especially with the Voice of Resurgence, because now you can just pop it off in now just doesn't
Jason
matter.
playing very aggressively.
He is very, very aggressive. He's very aggressive at the best of times anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
And there we go. It's just down. So Steve won, Jason won,
Deciding game.
going down to game 3. Now, obviously, the first part. The problem with Jason the first time around is he did mess up. He did mess up.
Yeah.
Well, not mess up. Sorry, he got mana screwed. And sometimes that just happens. You can't do anything about it. That just happens. Put very simply, I'm going to put us back on
yes,
again now, so
very-
I don't have
very
the
well.
background audio going
It's,
through my head and putting me off what I'm saying.
Exactly, yeah. It does seem like, looking at these two, obviously, from what we've seen, they do seem to be running very similar decks.
Very similar decks. The biggest difference is that Steve is running Naya, so he's got the red
Yes.
in there. And the red meant that, one, he could have Zeroth or Xanthos or whatever his name is, the new Planeswalker that I can't for the life of me remember the name of. Zeroth in there. And Jason has got a more restricted card pool in comparison, but they're both going down in the same direction, so it's
Yeah,
but
I mean,
Jason had the reason he messed up his first game is because he got mana
that
screwed.
mana, yeah.
And he got the mana he wanted this time round, and he
And
just
it totally changed the game. He was
completely different
completely,
game.
the board presence just got wrapped.
Yeah.
Completely in the opposite direction.
And it wasn't as if Steve got mana screwed in response, or not in response, sorry. In
in response, I'll
in
screw
response,
myself.
I'll screw your mana. No, it's not like Steve's. The reason he lost was because he got screwed for mana, because both of them
Yeah.
had emptied their hand at that point. So it just happened to be.
It was all on the
you
top
know,
decks at that point.
Yeah. And I mean, that's one of the big disadvantages of losing the first round for them getting mana screwed. You don't really know what they're capable of
We seem to have frozen.
at that point. Oh, we have frozen. So let's not do that. Wow,
Yeah.
you're kidding me. Even the camera that's local is having problems? Wow.
Nothing seems to go right.
No, nothing seems to
Not
be
the
going
first
right at
time,
this point.
anyway. Hopefully tomorrow will be a bit smoother for you.
Oh, you'd like to think that, wouldn't you?
So
So here we are,
begin
just kind of
game
sorting each
3.
other out.
So
I am
I
really
think
liking some of the
I
cards.
would love to put a prediction on this match. However, I don't think I can, because like I said, they both seem to be running very similar decks, and
Yep.
it does seem to be all about that mana at the moment and what comes into the draw.
True.
Neither
I mean,
deck seems to have an overpowering bearing over the other. It's not one-sided. It's all down to how much mana you've got in the field and what you're drawing into.
Yeah.
At
I
this
mean, if
point.
they're both running very similar. I mean, I haven't seen from either of them what I would consider to be a kill card.
Yeah.
As in the card that you draw and you go, this is going to end the game for me.
Yeah.
Both of them just seem to have very, very consistent across the board yum-yums. They're just very, very
Yeah.
good. Yum-yums. That's a new term that I've just invented. Across the board yum-yums.
So once again, no 1-drops are coming down. We're going into turn 2 already. The Shocklands go in. What have you done
Oh,
to the
that would be
screen?
my fault. I do apologise. I'm going to make this as quick as possible.
Oh, you're putting up Fleece Main 9.
I'm changing around some things. Pay no attention to the moving objects on your screen.
Work
There
in
we go.
progress.
I'm going to get rid of that now
Is that
as
an
well.
experiment 1 going down there?
There we go. Yeah, experiment 1. Perfect first turn drop that you want.
Turn 2 drop.
Was it a turn
That was
2
a-
drop?
that was a
Oh,
turn
that's a
2 drop.
terrible turn 2 drop. Otherwise known as, guess what I just drew.
Yeah.
You know?
There was no 1-drops down, so that was a turn 2 dropping on the field there.
But then
Uh,
again, saying that, going into a Bow of Nihilion. And this is actually, ironically, this is looking really ridiculously similar to something that I was trying to
Experiment
construct
1 gets
myself.
destroyed.
I'm actually quite intrigued by this because I was in the process of trying to put together, you know, a
You're
new
fiddling
mono
with
green
things
deck
again.
rather than splitting it in with the green, the white, like both of these two have. And
Down
There we
goes,
go.
Down goes the Planeswalker.
down goes the Planeswalker again. I mean, that's just brutal.
XE. Xenagos. There we go. Not Zeroth. Xenagos. I correct myself.
Xenagos. So that's in the wrong position.
It's not. No, it's not too bad. Oh, well, now
Yeah,
you've
that's
got rid
really
of it
bad.
completely.
Really bad.
John's playing with things. Bear with
I'm
him.
playing with things. Please excuse me while I play. I think it's because he's a Planeswalker. Everything's a little bit slightly skewiff. So
Yeah.
you'll just have to enjoy the loving, you know.
I will point out once again, Steve does have the mana advantage.
Once again, I think it's, well, he went first, so this is on turn 5 at this point, and having that Planeswalker at this point, oh,
Oh, we
no,
froze.
oh no. Okay,
we're back,
just a
we're
little bit of lag.
back.
We're good, we're
Yeah.
good, we're good, ladies and gentlemen.
So Xenagos got +1. But that's the thing, he's not only has he got the mana on the field, he's also got Xenagos who gives him mana.
Yes.
His +1 will give him X mana.
I mean, he's got the potential to ramp into all kinds of
So
ridiculous
by
things. at this
+1ing
point.
Xenagos at the moment, he will get 3 extra mana in any combination of green or red,
That's
because it's equal to the creatures he's controlling at the time.
and with it, you know, being a turn ahead and
Yeah.
having all the rest of it. I mean, he could just
He's
pull
got a
craziness out
good
of his
mana
hand.
advantage right now, and we've got some stuttering going on.
Mm. He's already got himself a Voice of Resurgence token, which is going away, which is nice enough. I mean, quite luckily, to be honest.
Trading out a token for a token there.
Well, not really trading, actually, because he gets to keep his token, because it is a 2/2 with a 1/1 counter on it. I'm
True.
not actually too sure where that came from. But well, I know where the counter came from,
I
because
think we
that
missed that in the stuttering.
come from the bow. Yes,
we missed it.
unfortunately.
Down
Oh.
goes.
Even Steve is unsure of what this card is.
It targets player,
It targets a player, whatever it is,
We
it
knew that
targets a
much.
player.
and it swings at Xenagos. By the looks of things.
No, I don't
He
think
targeted it. Targeted Xenagos somewhere along that line there. I saw him match the 2 cards up. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but
so. I mean, what do you do in this situation? You've got your Voice of Resurgence, which as awesome as a card as it is, on its own it feels weak because it means that the threat happens, it dies, and it turns into a 1/1. You know, it might as well just be a 2/2 with persist at this point. But having a bow against you. I cannot stress, by the way, if anybody hasn't played with the bow, you just need to play with it to really truly understand how crazy and ridiculous it is.
I've played against it, and yeah, it's kind of scary.
It's
having everyone, the opponents, every creature they control having death touch it's vile.
You stick trample with that, and you're having yourself a really good time. And we have one token from the voice.
Double block coming in there. That is a double block coming in.
It is a double block.
Excuse me.
And I believe. Now I want to point out that the
So Steve gains 4.
Steve gains 4. So
What are
Steve
the
is on
cards' life
22,
totals?
and Jason, as far as I'm aware, sorry, 24. I do apologise. And as far as I'm aware, Jason is still on 20. Again, I do apologise about the interface. We will get that sorted as soon as we possibly can. Which will probably be in between these rounds. And there you go.
And the poster just fell off the window.
Oh, that's fine. We got more light in here now.
Great.
Not that we need more light in
No,
here. Anyway.
not at all. It's a lovely day.
Steve goes right back down to 19 again. And he's gaining 4. This is, I mean, having unflinching courage has suddenly become. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like it was bad before, but now that a lot of things are kind of rotated out, it's really become a surprisingly powerful card.
We are in that kind of the middle of that odd time where standard becomes a very limited amount of sets.
Yes, especially
We're
after
between the kind of the 2 core sets that usually come in. We've got the Ravnica block is going out shortly on the next couple of set releases.
Yeah.
And we'll essentially be down to. So
okay, so Ross, I just want to point out why we just froze for a moment. Ross is down here, who's one of the judges, and ironically on the stream we just heard Ross go, 10 minutes, guys! So apparently there's a little bit of a delay going on. How long ago was 10 minutes? About 10 minutes ago, don't you, Dessa? Down to 4 minutes, so we have a 6-minute delay. Hurrah! It's getting better. Have they finished their game, by the way? Or are they still going? They're still going. That's all right.
Going, so.
We'll bring it to you as delayed as we get it ourselves. Oh, say again? They're on one. Yeah. We need to sort out the interface. I may have to edit it manually.
So there's 2 Voice of Resurgence down on the field now, on Steve's side.
Did I? Oh, right. Okay.
Really?
Championship. Let's just have a quick. No, I don't want to have a quick look at that right now because I'm technically.
We'll look at that after.
We'll look at this afterwards. Yeah.
Apparently.
So
John
while
made
I've
a
turned
typo.
away, 2 Voice of Resurgence have hit the deck.
Yes, they've also they've hit the table. They haven't done much as of yet. They're just sat there, kind of getting in the way.
Yeah, but that's what you want them though. You want them to just sit there and be an idle threat.
But they have, they're doing their job. They have stopped Jace in his tracks.
Yes. However.
He did choose to swing.
Is he really going to trade right now? I mean, he's got 4 creatures on the table, so this is going to be a 4/4 that's going to sit there. I mean, he has got rid of the one of them.
See, the mana is still very much in Steve's favour. Jason seems to be behind still.
Well,
however,
you see,
the Planeswalker...
Jason's behind, but even though our life totals aren't updated, Jason's on 27 life at the moment because of that Unflinching Courage.
Yes.
It's, I think people really...
Such a good card.
Steve, on the other hand, is on 3. He may have the power in regards to what's on the board, but Trample and Lifelink, you have a hard time with that. You've got to have something big enough to get in the way. And
what's he cast there?
I'm actually not too sure. But whatever it is, it did do something nice.
It blew everything up by the looks of things.
I'm thinking at this point that Steve is probably on his way down. Like I was saying, I mean, Jason lost the first round basically because he got mana screwed. And you have a very difficult time figuring out...
I mean, Jason, even though he turned 2, dropped the Experiment 1, he followed up very quickly with the bow. And that's been a problem from turn 3 onwards.
Yeah.
That was a problem, and that's probably what's throwing the game in Jason's favour.
I mean, this is the first time that he's actually dropped the bow as well.
Yes.
So it's not as if Steve would have sideboarded in to
Yeah.
you know, to hate on it. By default, I think most of the time, not all the time, most of the time people don't have enchantment or artifact hate in their
Yeah.
main board. Everybody has it in their sideboard because there are times that it's going to come up. But hell, if the time that it comes up is the last time you
Yeah.
get to play,
I mean,
you're
I
kind
might
of
give
upset.
I might give Jason the benefit of the doubt here and say that he chose not to play the bow until the last turn to
That-
stop Steve from sideboarding against it.
I mean, that is a very, very big possibility. We have no idea exactly what was happening. However, I have just been informed that they are going into sudden death now because we have a little bit of a delay. I don't know if that's going to be on our screen or if that's going to be a little bit further down the line.
Yeah. It's a good point considering we have a bit of a delay.
And in
'cause
fact,
we're being
some of the life
updated on
totals I'm
Skype
giving
at
may
the
be
moment,
wrong as
so-
well.
Yeah, we are being updated via Skype at the moment, so our live totals are up to date. However, we're not sure how far ahead of the actual stream they are. So that could pose an issue, but we will have to possibly check that between games.
I mean, at the moment, what we're probably going to do after this round is pop you back onto as rude
Oh.
as it sounds. Oh no, sudden death
There
just
we
kicked
go,
in.
sudden
Not
death
too
got
bad,
called,
not
so
too
we're not
bad
too
of a
far
delay.
behind.
We've got about a minute's worth of a delay. So sudden death has just kicked in. I believe we're in Steve's turn. So when he passes over to Jason, it'll be turn 1 of the sudden death. If that
And
is
suddenly everything gets very serious.
very serious. I mean, Steve, it doesn't matter now. Steve's on 3 life.
Yeah.
Who cares? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just have to hold off till the bitter end at this point. And that's what he's
And the
doing.
question is, will he be able to?
2 voice tokens. I'm not actually too sure what his third thing is, because I assumed it was a voice token, but obviously Jason's supplying those for him.
Being the kind sportsman that he is.
He is, isn't he? Loving the background music that we've got going on in here. I don't know if the mic's picking it up. We've got some classical music just playing in the next room.
Very
and,
classical music.
Oh, it's
The
quite
joys of
charming.
being in a very well-established
Yes.
establishment. Pub. That's what I was looking for. That's the word.
Very, very tentative movements, because he knows
The
this
room
is
has
sudden
gone
death
very
now. I mean,
quiet
like
as
it's saying,
well.
Steve just needs to hold off to get the draw at this point. He
The
just needs to
background-
survive.
The background noise in the room has dropped considerably, which makes me think that these are possibly the only 2 left playing.
That are still playing at this point, yeah. Dropping one of his tokens. Oh. I really, really would not like to be Steve at this point. Just put very, very simply.
He's fighting for his life at this point.
Yeah.
He
I
just
mean,
has
how
to keep
horrible
enough
is it?
creatures in the way.
Such a horrible decision. I mean, Jason is going to swing for at least 3. Because he's got Death Touch and Trample, and that's it. I mean, it doesn't matter what he sticks in the way, he's going to swing for 3. So I
Yeah.
can't actually see if the life totals are as they are. If we're getting them correctly, Steve's just dead. I don't think there's any way he can get out of this.
I'm
Anyway,
just trying to listen in because there's a bit of a. Oh no! There we go. Steve's just.
there we go, and that's exactly
Done
it. Yep, there's no point in continuing because, you know, Trample, Death Touch, you're on 3
So
life,
Jason
he's
wins
just going down.
2-1.
So Jason wins 2-1 overall. Yeah.